boo. Me again. I wanted to say I'm in the grocery store, and this is where I spend half of my life when I'm not working. So I guess I gave it some thought, and I wondered where I should start. I was in my mid-20s when I started out with my addiction. I worked in a dental office. I was a registered dental assistant, and one summer I went out on a boat with one of the other assistants in the office, and it was like the first ski of the season, and I ended up pulling a muscle in my back, and it debilitated me. It was so bad. I went home the next morning, got up, and I could barely move. The boss that I worked for at the time, I called in and I said, look, I can barely move. I don't think I'm going to be able to come in and work. And he said, come on in, we'll fix you up. So I did, and guess what? He fixed me up. He put 2 pills in my hand, and it was Vicodin. And sure as shit, I was off and running. That's all it took. I don't know why that was the particular moment that started things off, but it was. I had Vicodin earlier in my teen years when I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and it didn't grab me like it did this time. This time I just wanted more and more and more. That's where it started. And from there, I think I was 23. My life was a blur, and it really upsets me because there were a lot of wasted years there. A lot. I didn't have my kids until I was 35, so that tells you how many years my addiction spanned. I got to a point where I'm really compartmentalizing this story. I'm trying to condense it and make it as short as possible. Some will be longer, some will be shorter. Anyway, so of course you can imagine I loved the feeling it gave me, and so I sought it out. I mean, I wanted it every day, and I had a tolerance develop. First it takes you take 2 pills to get high, or to feel good, or whatever it is you're taking it for, and then after a week or so of taking 2 pills at a time, then you have to start to take 3 to get the same feeling, and then you have to start to take 4, and so on and so on. And to tell you how bad mine got, at one point I got up to a level of needing probably, well, it was a handful. So I would say probably 15. I would take that handful, pop them into my mouth, and swallow them all whole. That's, now that I think about it and I think back, it's just disgusting. But it is what it is, right? You can only imagine the things I was doing to keep up. with that level, how I was getting a hold of these drugs. I was a dental assistant, so I knew the ins and outs of phoning prescriptions in, period. It's crazy. I guess I'll stop at this point, and next time my story will be probably the first time I got arrested. Okay? That's going to be a tough one. All right. Smile, it makes the world prettier.